All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Heather Hampton. I'm the Assistant Director for Parent and Family Services, and I want to welcome you to our Tiger Talk today. We have a very special guest with us today so that you can get a chance to know a little bit about our Multicultural Affairs Department. So I'll let the others introduce themselves, and then we'll go ahead and get started with all the questions that we have that you all have sent in and that we've developed for this session. So, Kay, you can go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hello, everyone. Happy Tuesday. My name is Cade Forbes, and I am the coordinator for Parent and Family Services.
All right, and our special guest here today is Linda Hall. She is the Associate Dean for Multicultural Affairs, and she is a woman who has been here and she's well connected and well loved, and she has a lot of wisdom and really cares for our students. And so we wanted to you the opportunity to get to know her. So, Ms. Hall, just tell us a little bit about yourself and your journey to the university and multicultural affairs.
Okay, first thing, I would like to thank Heather for inviting me to be a part of this. And I'm glad to be able to share with you a little bit about our office. Again, my name is Linda Hall, and I serve as the Associate Dean of Multicultural Affairs. And I tell people that my blood is must be blue because I've been around a very long time. I did both of my degrees here at the university. I have worked in this area the majority of my time at Memphis. Um, I went straight from being a fresh graduate to an employee. And for most of my time, I have worked in minority affairs before the name changed to multicultural affairs. And I always say I probably will be the only one to ever have this job that will say that I've worked for everyone before me. I've worked for every one of the previous associate deans. And I'm Arkansan by birth, but I've been in Memphis longer than I have ever stayed in Arkansas. So I love the university, I love the students, and I absolutely have loved my journey. And I wouldn't choose anything else if I could. I would stay right here.
That's awesome. So, you mentioned that there was a name change with the department. So, let's talk a little bit about the purpose and mission of multicultural affairs and maybe the audiences that they serve, which is really everybody. But yeah, if you could talk about the purpose and the mission and the why behind what you all do.
Okay. What we try to do is create and sustain a safe and welcoming environment for everybody, an inclusive environment. We support students in developing them as leaders. We try to help serve in a way that all of our students can learn to respect each other and their backgrounds. It doesn't matter where they started, it's where they're going and how we can help them get there. And we try to help them not only just focus on student organizations, but how those leadership skills can enhance their academic endeavors, and then they can go further in being productive citizens in our community and the world actually. So we hope that, as I tell people in this office, this is probably one of the places that you can go around the world in one day because that's how many people we interact with and from all walks of life. And we want students to be able to come in contact with that because I think that they can get an enhanced education outside of the academic classroom by entering and being a part of what we do here in multicultural affairs.
Awesome. So that kind of plays right into our next question. So our next question says, what are the benefits of engaging with multicultural affairs?
Absolutely. Thank you for that. I think one of the benefits in engaging with our office is you get just that. You get a chance to experience the diversity of our campus, which makes us special. It makes not just our office special, but the university special. Because depending on, I don't think it excludes anyone. That when you go out into the real world and get into your assigned profession or chosen professions, you're going to meet people from all walks of life. And it is imperative that you know how to interact with different people. When we come to the university, sometimes we come with our own biases. We come from either a small town or large city. We come from neighborhoods that we grew up in for 18 years. Uh, Oftentimes, if you're a traditional student, that may be your like you may have gone to church with the same people, synagogue, any of those places, gone to the same grocery store. Now you come to a place like the University of Memphis and you see somebody's doing it a little different. That doesn't mean that it's wrong. It's just that they're doing it a little different. And how do you grow from that experience? So that is one of the main things that they learn. And so we do a couple of programs that allow students to experience that, to get together. We have a suite here that we put Hispanic students in with Black students or whatever, just because they need to learn from each other. You may not, some people will come from experiences that they only have experienced certain types of racial diversity, um, financial diversity, all of those things, dress, all of those things. And they've never experienced it before. But if they attend or be a part of the multicultural organizations that we advise directly from this office, that experience will change. Their thought process will change. So I think that's the benefit. And I know that those students will be more successful in their career paths than other students will be.
That's good. That's good. So, just basically exposing students to things that are different that they may not have known definitely is a benefit. So, we talk about encountering these different maybe races or economic backgrounds or different walks of life. How does your office help students when they get to campus feel that sense of belonging, like they've found their community? How do you help them navigate that when they get here?
Well, first, I think that we learn as well. Number one, as a staff, we learn. I call ourselves a team rather than a staff, because we're all in this together. We are a team. We're not a department. We
Right.
are a team.
That's
And
good.
so, therefore, what we do first is that we try to get as many students as possible to join organizations that they are affiliated with or they have some affinity to. Number one, because that keeps you connected to your community. There's someone that knows what you're going through, knowing the separation anxiety maybe from leaving their parents for the first time. Then how do I really keep that connection? How do I keep it on a college campus? So what we try to do is foster that community. We have student groups that are going to keep up the cultural dynamics that a student may be used to. So they kind of start feeling at home, that you're sitting in an easy chair. And at the same time, we're exposing them to something different. So people may think that, I'll use this as an example, is that we may think all Asian students are the same. They're not. They're not. So even though we Vietnamese students are Asian, they have a different kind of practice, and what they do is very different. So we had to learn that. And so what we want to do is to make sure that when they do their cultural program, they're inviting everybody, because you can understand more about what I'm going through if you understand my cultural identity and what's important to us. And so I think that is how they began to fit in, because then they see people that look like them, celebrate things like they do, all of that, while at the same time being exposed to people that don't. And so that's where the learning process is, and where they start feeling comfortable in trying to make sure that people understand why they do the things that they do, instead of, again, tolerating it. We want people to respect the differences in the different backgrounds of our students here at the university.
Right. And I really like how you all look at it because, you do kind of come in with the sense of some type of community or like you said affinity. So I mean that ties back to what you said about the benefits. I mean you come in with this size of a community and you should leave with an even bigger
Bigger,
community, even
absolutely.
more connected. So that's really good. That's good.
Awesome. So our next question is, how do you work with campus partners to promote inclusivity and representation in overall campus life?
It is imperative that we do that. It is, I mean, we could not function without our campus partners. And that includes offices like yours. It also includes academic uh, departments, because there are things, for example, let's use this, two things I'll use. Uh, Across the hall from our office is a room that our Muslim students can pray in. We had to advocate for that to happen. So we had to work with the Dean of Students office. We had to work with conference and event services. We had to do that to try to create a space, because this is a student center. This is the hub of student activity. And so we understand during a certain time of the year, during Ramadan, they have to pray so many times a day. They can't go home. So we had to create a space for them to be able to do that. So we had to work well with some other partners to make that happen, to understand the need for it. And so we know it during those times that they can do that. We had to learn a lot of things. The space is small, but we have to understand men don't pray with women, that kind of thing. Respecting, not tolerating what they need, what their needs are. That's very important with us. So not only in campus partners do we do student engagement partners, we partner with academic areas, because if we don't build a great relationship across campus with financial aid, with scholarships, with all the academic areas, ACCs, we pride ourselves that we have somebody in every department and definitely every unit that we know personally, meaning that we can call them, we can email them, and a lot of times I probably shouldn't say that we have their cell phone numbers, so that we can call them.
Right,
This
right.
student is in distress about XYZ. This is the student's story. How can we talk with their professor? How can we talk with their advisor? What can we do? This student is financially strapped. How is there any money available here, there, or whatever? Did they fill out the FAFSA correct? What can we help them do to correct it?
That's good.
Sometimes they may go to another department and not express themselves correctly. It's not always the answers you get, it's the questions that you ask.
That's true. That's true.
So we are intentional about asking students that by, binds the graduation coach that we have. We're not just talking to students in an abstract way. We're digging. Hey, you're a biology major, but you haven't passed the biology course. Let's have a conversation about that. So things that they may not feel comfortable talking to their parents about, and or they have not shown them their grades, we are able to do that. We're able to do that. So our student leaders, students that are in our org, we run grade reports. So when we call you and say, "Hey, why don't you stop by the office? I got something to ask you." They don't know what they're walking into. Like, "Hey, you're going over a cliff. What's going on? Let's help. What's going on in your life that we need to talk about? We what is it that we can do to help you?"
Right. And I think a lot of what you shared is very something that I think parents and family members will find comforting because sometimes and pretty much all the time, unless the student gives them permission, they don't have access to those records. And sometimes they don't know to ask those questions to their students. So, encouraging the student to form that relationship and make those connections with an office like yours is going to be key. And
Absolutely.
just another, aspect of the support that family members can give to their students is, encouraging them, hey, go talk to Miss Hall in Multicultural Affairs, or Mr. Ryan or Miss Chelsea, or somebody who can, you feel more comfortable with if you don't feel like talking to me as your mom or your aunt or your grandmother or someone like that. So
Yeah,
that's really good.
absolutely. You're so correct. Because sometimes, again, our students don't always share their grade reports with their parents. But sometimes we are on the front end of that because we also get alerts. We signed up to get alerts about our students that are involved in our office, so we can kind of get it on the front end.
Right,
I had a
right. The
student
early
just
intervention.
just since school started that had an eye. Well, I said no. The professor gave you grace. So you have a window now to correct
Right,
it. So what is it that you didn't turn in? Let's help you get that turned in so that I won't turn to an F. Let's get
right,
it done. The student
right,
didn't even
right. Hold them
know or was
accountable.
fully aware that the professor had given them grace. Let's get it done. Let's get it done. What didn't you get done? They're giving you some time to still get it done. And that can change this grade. Okay, all right, I know what I didn't do, and I got to go turn it in.
Right,
So we
accountability.
are, as I tell parents in orientation, if you, as a parent, entrust us with your child, we promise to treat them as if they're our own and what we would want someone to do for our child or our children. And so if they entrust them, us, with their children, we promise to do right by them and help them become as successful as they can possibly be.
That's good. So I know you encounter all types of situations and different types of students in your line of work, but what would you say is your favorite aspect of working in multicultural affairs? And then again, what would you consider to be your most challenging aspect of working with a variety of different students in this line?
Ooh, that's a loaded question right there.
So your favorite aspect and then a challenging aspect.
I think my favorite is a two-parter. One is that again, I feel like I'm working at the UN, the United Nations, that I do get a chance to go around the world and learn. And I'm learning. I'm not just sitting in an office, I'm learning it like the students are learning. And secondly, I think the other part is to see the student growth. I've seen some very awkward, shy, introverted freshmen come in, but then I see them graduate and flourish in their careers. And I know I'm not a biological parent, but my chest is stuck out like a peacock. Oh, that's my student. Look at so and so, they're
Yeah,
doing really well. And so I'm taking ownership
right.
in that hopefully we played some part in that student's development. So that's the best part right there. Student success is the best part of it. The downside is that when you try as hard as you can to reach students to try to be a support and then they leave the university without their degree, that's the most disheartening part about it. And thinking, what could I have done better? What could I do could have done to help a student, and or meeting a parent somewhere and they talk about the student's experience. But for me, I've never met the student, I've never encountered the student. As far as I know, they never came here for help or anything like that. And so I look at it as a missed opportunity that maybe we could have made a difference in a student's life. That's probably the most disheartening part.
Yep, I can definitely see how that's, one of our biggest challenges, I think, for everyone in higher ed, especially when we get really attached to some students, seeing them go and, not necessarily accomplish everything that they may have set out to do. I know that that is really, really difficult. So speaking of challenges, so our next question is, how do you address challenges related to students' cultural understanding of themselves and the world and others around them?
Great question. Thank you, Kate, for that. We have a program in our office called Diversity Ambassadors. And in that program, it is 100% voluntary, but it's an opportunity for students, staff, anyone to come and learn more about yourself and how you interact and react to people that are different from you and their cultural norms. How does that happen? Whether it's we have one of the tracks is 6 tracks, and a student would receive a certificate, a T-shirt, and a good dinner if they complete it. And what we want for the students to be peer educators for other students. We want them to be sure that they are able to talk to their peers about what they've learned. Um, from ableism to microaggressions to prejudice and discrimination, we do it all. LGBTQ groups, we learn. Hopefully, what they will learn, and these sessions are not taught by our team members. We bring people in because sometimes they get tired of hearing us. We just gonna say the same old things. So we want them to get a different outlook on what may work for them. And so what it is it's just an hour that they get on each topic, those six topics. And I think that is one of the best ways for people to learn. Sometimes you are guilty. And I always use the example of ableism. We usually our Office of Disability Resources usually bring a panel of students. One of the first things I learned in one of the sessions, and all of us may be guilty of this at some point, is that they definitely will not um open the door for somebody that has a visible disability. We want to open the door for them. But the
Right.
question would be, may I help you? Do you mind if I open the door? Not assuming that they cannot open the door themselves. We just assume
That's
that.
good.
We assume that. But why are we
Right.
assuming that? Just because they have a disability. Why are we assuming that?
I'm guilty of
And
that too. Now
yeah,
that I think of it, now that
I
you
think all of
explain
us have
it.
been guilty of that at some point. But we should ask the question. And so I'm hypersensitive about it now. That I should be able to do that. But it also speaks to all the disabilities that we can't see. All disabilities are not visible. And what do we do? And so, therefore, I think it's a good way to open your eyes about things that you have done and just not thinking about it and how it may affect the person that has this, that, or the other. Or check ourselves. I always says about inclusivity. You know, you can invite me to the party and saying, "Oh, I'm a good person because I invited Heather to the party." And it's a dance. It's a party. But if I never asked Heather to dance, did I include her though? This is inviting somebody to the party, but you refuse to ask them to dance. So we have to be intentional about being inclusive. It's not about whether or not you want them to be the star of the show, but you want to acknowledge their presence,
Right.
that they
Right.
are present, that they are visible. And
I
the
like
best
that
way we can
word.
do that is acknowledging the person's presence in any space. And that's being inclusive of what we're doing. It's this
I,
it's vital that we do that.
right. I like that word that you mentioned, intentional,
Mm-hmm.
um, and being aware so that
Mm-hmm.
you can be intentional. I really like that.
Mm-hmm.
And thank you for answering those questions. I know they were kind of loaded there. So, switching gears slightly, um, tell us, tell the families a little bit about some of the student organizations that are housed within your department, and how
Mhm.
would their student go about connecting with them and maybe coming to a meeting or an event or joining that particular organization. I know you have a lot of them, so you don't have to necessarily list them all, but maybe highlight a few of the larger
Okay.
ones.
Okay, be glad to. Okay. We have about 11 organizations that are directly advised through our office. And what that means is that each team member is assigned to a certain organizations, and most of us have 2 to 3 that we advise directly. And these organizations get our hands on it. We're just not paper signers at all. And we're trying to develop the students and develop their programs so that the outcomes will be what they want them to be. And so we have the Asian American Association, we have the Vietnamese Student Association, we have Stonewall Tigers, which represents our LGBTQIA students. Professional Assertive United Systems of Excellence, that we use the acronym PAUSE for that. We have Muslim Student Association, we have the Indian students, Hispanic students, Empowered Men of Color that we refer to as EMOC. We have Black Scholars Unlimited, which is our only honorary organization that students can only be inducted into that organization. You cannot join it. You have to have a 3.0 grade point average or higher to join that, to be a part of it, and you're inducted into that organization in the spring semester only. That's the only time you students can come to the meetings, but they cannot vote or do anything like that. They can just come to observe. But to be a member, you have to be inducted into the organization, and you can only do that one time a year. Anytime after your first semester here, and you have a GPA that we can use. And of course, we have the Black Student Association, which is one of the longest running organizations on campus. So they've been on campus probably about 55 years. So they've been around a long time. And so
Wow.
we have those, and like I told you, we have a couple of programs. We have the Diversity Ambassadors program. We do we do a student leadership retreat once a year. We do all quite a bit. I would say 85% or more of cultural programming on the entire campus. So we do all of that, and again, the intent is to bring knowledge about the different backgrounds of students that we have on campus. And as you can see, we got just about everybody covered that they can fit in someplace. The students can go on to Tiger Zone and see where meetings are scheduled and how they're scheduled and what rooms they're in. And all meetings are open to everybody and anybody, regardless of your background, regardless of your cultural identity or ethnicity, is open to everybody. Every one of these organizations are open. We have a little problem with EMOC and PAUSE or women and men, but other than that, um, uh, every organization is open to anybody at all times. There is a meeting going on every week, all in the afternoons. After 3 o'clock, you can find a meeting. I promise you can find a meeting to go to.
Right. Very busy.
Very.
Me too.
Awesome. Alrighty. So our next question was actually what other involvement opportunities do you offer? But you pretty much touched on that already with your programs and your retreats and your like the diversity ambassador program, all that kind of stuff. So we're just gonna skip over that one. And we're gonna go to how does multicultural affairs promote awareness of LGBTQIA plus issues?
Again, we house that organization in our office. What we try to do is that we have a whole week of LGBTQ week to bring awareness. We bring speakers on campus. We talk about We do special sessions if there are any things legislatively that's going on, as they are right now. We will be doing some of that to try to explain to students to disperse any kind of stress levels that are out there. Uh, One of our team members, Chelsea Liddell, has expertise in that area, and she's there to answer any questions. We take students to a conference up in Murfreesboro in April. If they want to go to, we have taken students to the national conference, as well as a day on the Hill, because legislation made at the state level can and often do affect LGBTQIA students on our campus, and they need to know that we are a resource for them. Um, in any way that we possibly can. Once again, advocacy is one of the things that we do. So we have been on, I guess, years of trying to make sure that students have the ability to use bathrooms that are gender neutral. We Unfortunately, we have fewer of those than we need to have, but we work all the time to identify spaces that can be moved to gender neutral. We have been fortunate to have support to be able to support these students in whatever needs that they have. So we are an advocacy office as well. We do safe zone training for anyone that needs a better outlook on understanding, and so that they are treated with any student that identify there, that they will be respected, not tolerated, but respected. And so knowledge is power. And so we just need to understand. And they are all, we're all tigers. We just got different stripes. That's it.
I like
So
that. That's
so we want
good.
to make sure that they have all the resources that are necessary for them, whether or not it's getting to the correct offices, trying to make sure they have anything that they need, that they're respected in classrooms with name changes and things like that. And I can tell you, we've not always been um, faculty members not have always been receptive, but there are some things in place that they have to be. They have to be, and so we advocate on students' behalf at every turn that we can be.
That's good for families to know that your student has an advocate on campus in multicultural affairs, and that should, you know, resonate with family members and parents as it relates to the care and concern that this department has and the university has for your students. You mentioned a few of your events that are kind of tied to some of the services that you have, but what are some of the other events that you do throughout the year?
Okay.
I know one is coming up, the biggest one is coming up, but we can talk about that, kind of talk about that too as a segue. But just tell families so they can know how they can be a part, because a lot of the events are not just open to students and to the campus community, but to the wider community.
Absolutely. Thank you. Yes. Starting this Friday night, we will open our Black History Month activities. Again, we are supported by the university to put on programming. So we're about to put on our sneakers and make a run for it. So we will have 21 events in 28 days. So that's a lot. And as
Yes, it
Heather
is.
stated, all of these events are free and open to the public, unless there only one event that I know of is we will have the NPHC will have their step show on the 28th, and there is a charge for that. But everything else is free and open to the public. You should be able to see by tomorrow all the events on our calendar. But again, we will kick off this Friday with the Arthur S. Holman Lifetime Achievement Award ceremony. We will honor Mr. Shannon Brown, 44-year retired employee from Federal Express. And so we will start with that, and we'll go on through the month with a plethora of programs. So, like I said, we'll have our sneakers on. We also have Hispanic Heritage Month that absolutely is our biggest events at the beginning of the fall semester. We do a multicultural mixer. Um, it is always the first Wednesday of the school year, and we do it after the RSO fair outside. It is huge. And so what we do is then we do a smaller fair so that we can so students can get more of a personal, sorry, um up close look at some of the smaller organizations that they may be interested in that fall up under our umbrella. And what I did not say earlier, we also support the NPHC. That is not part of this office, and we do not directly advise them, but we support them. We also support LTA, which is our only Hispanic sorority on our campus. So we do that
So,
as well.
so
And
just so
go
parents
ahead.
will know the NP, can you tell what the NPHC stands for? For the,
Absolutely.
yeah.
It's a National Panhellenic Association, and it houses the nine traditionally African American sororities and fraternities. There are nine under the NPHC umbrella nationally, but at the university, we only have eight that are active at this moment. The only one is not active right now is Iota Phi Theta. It's not active at the moment, but we help all the others We have 8 of the Divine Nine, and that is what they are called sometimes, the Divine Nine. So we do have those groups on campus. The advisor for the NPAC is housed in our student leadership and involvement area, but we coexist, we co-partner, we do a lot of things with them as a support for that population of students. We also do a we talked about the multicultural mixer. We also do a multicultural festival. It's also open. It's always the last Friday before exam starts. And we have it outside, God willing, and it's not raining. We have it outside. It's full of performances, food, and fun. We ready people to decompress and get ready for finals. And it also is an open display of the diversity that we have on campus that we celebrate daily. Um, Again, we do safe zone training, the diversity ambassadors. We do our students. We just took 20 students uh, to Texas A&M in Texas. Texas A&M in Texas, in College Station, Texas, for a leadership conference. So we try to do that. We house scholarships that students can apply for. Parents, um, the deadline for the scholarship manager is February 1st. Please tell your students to apply for any scholarships that they feel like they are available. Sometimes that's the issue, is that there are scholarships, but we don't have enough students to apply for them, to give them out. So some are very simple, a simple application. All the criteria is on the scholarship manager. It closes on February 1st. Please, please tell your students to go and apply. I challenge you, tell them to apply for at least two. At least two.
Yeah. Yeah, and
And
if
if you're
they're
not in the
parent,
game, you can't win the game. You can't win
that's
it.
true. That's
You
what we
can't
try to
win it.
tell our parent and family association members. We have a scholarship for their students, and we like, hey, y'all got to apply.
You
The
got to
money's out
apply.
there. You got to apply so that you can be in that mix.
You got to be in the mix. And so
Yeah.
we steward several of those scholarships out of this office. And so it also means a lot if students that we encounter daily can get those scholarships. That means a lot. But oftentimes they haven't applied. And so we really want them to take advantage of that.
Alrighty. So we touched on all the different fun events that you do throughout the year, including Black History Month, which is right on the horizon. And now we're getting more into parent and family involvement. So this question is, how can parents and families support their students in finding their community on campus?
Yeah, good question. I encourage all of parents, if possible, in our office, if there's a program of any type that we put in other than diversity ambassadors, possibly, your students is on stage. You will very seldom to never see one of our team members doing a program. It will be your child. And so we want you to come out, encourage them, tell them to go ahead, see them operate in ways that maybe you haven't at all. So we are open to have all of our parents come and support their students. Ask them, are you part of anything? I see that they're going to have a men's conference. Are you doing anything? You know, I want to come out and support you. And you can do that. Or we have EMOC conference in the fall of the year. We'll have the pause conference in the spring. We getting ready for that simultaneously with Black History Month. If you want to do a session, your child will be so proud of you to do a session in one of these conferences. So come and we have parents that come to these conferences with their children to see what it is that they're learning, see how they operate, see how they can present a speaker. That's big. That's awesome. And to know that they are able to do that and deliver without it being an academic process. This helps them with their communication skills and their leadership skills. And we want you to see that side of it too, that you will not see in their academic performance on their transcripts. You're not going to see that. But seeing it in person means a lot. To your child is one And if your child is inducted to Black Scholars, we have, we encourage parents to come to see that your child has made that academic progress, that they have a 3.0 or greater, and that they are doing well, and see them courted, to be able to keep them motivated to keep that same distinction going into graduation. So there are so many opportunities for your students to do this. We do a lot of daytime program, but a lot of it is in the evening. A lot of it is in the evening. And so we want to make sure that you are a part of that part of the journey for your students as well, that you can take part in. Instead of going to class with them, you can come and see what they're doing. So when they graduate and you see these honors or distinction out there, you say, oh, wow, I didn't know my child was doing all that. You can be part of the journey. We want you to be part of the journey.
That's right. Right. You can say that again. We want you to be a part of that journey. It's so important for student success and support, just knowing that family members are there, not only supporting from the sideline or from the background or from afar, but that they can take moments to be here in person and connect. And that's one reason why we do the programming that we do in our office, through the Parent and Family Spring Day that's coming up, Parent and Family Weekend, and things like this, so that you can be a part of your student's journey, as Ms. Hall said. Thank you for that, Ms. Hall. I really appreciate you encouraging the families, and letting them know that they can get involved with their students' journey. So, any final thoughts or maybe some nuggets of wisdom for parents, just general things as they navigate supporting their students through this college journey? I know our parents are always looking for ways that they can be involved, or maybe they have questions about things, and a lot of the times they're not quite sure if they're doing it right or if they're saying the right things. And just some wisdom just from your experience and with students and being on campus for so long. I know you have some nuggets that you can drop for our parents and family members.
Well, again, I think what I would say, and I'll repeat this again, I think if you entrust your child or children to us, that we will continue to nurture them and provide for them like they're our own. They're like tiger cubs to us, and we want a full blown grown tiger when they leave.
Right.
And I want you to take it from me. I am a parent of two sons, and both of my sons went to school here, attended here, graduated from here. And I understood that they may not come to me for what they needed, unfortunately. Because they were used to my voice. But I think that I was able to redirect them to other people that could help. What I say in about our office, we don't have the answers to everything. We just don't. But what I challenge the team members here is that make sure that you're connected to someone, because then that way we can help our students in every way. Whatever it is that you need, we can find somebody to help your child. We can help them. If you have a question that you are not going to ask Kate or Heather about, and you feel comfortable, ask them to come see us. And we will try to get them the answers that they need. May not be the ones they want, but it's the answers that they need. If you have questions, understanding outside of the student's academic record, you can ask us, where should I go? What should I do? How can I direct my student? We're going to help you. We're going to be in this ride together. We're just going to ride shotgun, right? Somebody's going to be driving, the other's going to be a passenger. And so we can help if you allow us to. And everybody's not going to know the answer. As I told you, I have 2 degrees. It's completely different than when I went to school here, right? So I'm learning as well. It may be different from when you attended school. And all schools are not set up the exact way as far as policies and stuff like that. But we can help with that. We can help with that. We'll get back with you. If you call us, email us, whatever, look on our website and see what we can do to help. It may not be in the area where we have expertise, but I promise you that we will get you an answer, and not the 1, 2, 3 button. We don't have 1, 2, 3 buttons in our office. Somebody's going to answer this phone. And so, therefore, we want you to take advantage of that and make sure that your student is having an all around experience. That's really important. Encourage your students to get involved in something, not 10 things, but something that they're passionate about. Whether it's in an academic area, whether it's in the student involvement area, they need to get involved in something to help enhance their academic journey. But again, we want you to be on the journey with us, with them.
That's right.
We all in this thing together. And as
That's
I
right.
stated before, we all tigers. We just got different stripes.
Mm-hmm.
But we're in this thing together. And whatever we can do as an office, as a division of student affairs, and as a university, we're here to help because our main goal is to make sure your child, our student, is successful. We want to
Mm-hmm.
retain them and we want to graduate them, but we want them to enjoy the fun along the ride. We
That's
want them
right.
to have fun.
I
We want
like
them to
that.
enjoy this ride.
That's good. Well, Ms. Hall, we want to thank you so much for all the things that you shared today, for taking the time to talk with families and answer questions. Families, we hope that you are more informed, that you feel more connected to multicultural affairs is doing and offers for your student and just your student's journey in general. We hope that you feel supported by Parent and Family Services. We have Multicultural Affairs contact information on the screen. Take a screenshot of it. Jot the numbers down because we want you to know, as Ms. Hall said, that they're open for your questions and they want to get to know your student. They don't want to look up and your student is graduating and they never got that opportunity to get to know them. Also, we have get it up here. I want to always let you know what's going on with Parent and Family Services. We do have our care package program, our Send Some Love bundles on sale now. So you have this opportunity to purchase those care package bundles for your student. It's $50 and they get a hug from home here in the next few weeks. And then at the end of the semester, right before finals, they get a finals care package. So you can go to our website to purchase those. Also, Parent and Family Spring Day. Woo! Parent and Family Spring Day registration is open now, so you can head to our website and register you and other family members for that. We have a family mingle downtown at Tin Roof on February 23rd. That's a Sunday at 11 o'clock. And then right after that, we're going to walk about a block away to the FedEx Forum and cheer on the men's Tigers team as they take on Florida Atlantic University as they bash their heads in, as I like to say. But we want you to be a part of that because it's also a fun event where you can get to meet other families. Some administrators will be there. Miss Hall, I don't know what your schedule is, but we had a parent who's attending the session today asking if you're going to be there at the family spring day because they would love for you to meet and connect with their son. But even if not, then we definitely want to get you connected. So
Okay.
I'm not sure who that parent is, but if you could maybe send an email to Miss Hall, that way you can start that introduction and get your son connected. But we would love to have you be a part of the Parent and Family Spring Day. Miss Hall, you know you are always invited. She'll be the life of the
Absolutely.
party. and then
Absolutely.
um, and then the next thing is our next Tiger Talk, which is coming up on February 25th. We're going to get to know the Veterans and Military Student Services Center. Um, and we've got a lot of student veterans. We've got military students and students who are using their family members' benefits. And so there's some resources on campus for those students. And if you just want to know more about it so that you can share with other families that you may be connected to, please mark your calendar to attend that event. If you want to review anything that you've heard today, we're recording this session and we will have it on our YouTube channel. This evening at 6 o'clock it'll premiere and it'll be housed there so um, you can click the button to listen to it at any time you want to, and also other previous Tiger Talks that we've done in the past. So we want you to have those resources at your fingertips. But thank you for attending. Thank you, Miss Hall. Thank you, Cade. And we will see you all on the next Tiger Talk. Thank you so much, and we look forward to working with you and your student. Have a great day.
Thank you.